Hello and welcome. You're watching WION World as One. My name is Neem Soroya and here's what we've lined up for you on Speed News today. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, a close ally of Donald Trump and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot at Utah Valley University during a campus event. Kirk was speaking at the event, part of his American comeback tour, when a single shot rang out, striking him in the neck. Despite security efforts, Kirk succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead. FBI director said a person was taken into custody on suspicion of involvement and has been released after interrogation.
I don't know if that was sharp.
President Donald Trump condemned the heinous assassination of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, hailing him as a man of deep faith. Trump also hit out at political divisions in the country that have fueled violence in the United States. He said that the radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and has taken too many lives. He asked Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died. US President Donald Trump told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a tense phone call that striking Hamas leaders in Doha was not wise. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, Netanyahu defended Israeli actions, citing a brief window to launch the attack. In a follow-up call, Trump asked if the attack was successful, but Netanyahu said he did not know the strike has sparked international condemnation, with Qatar hitting back at Netanyahu's comments. Israeli reservists who refused to serve in Gaza joined families of hostages in a protest march in Tel Aviv, demanding the captives return to an end to the war. A mother of a hostage criticized Israel's recent strike on Doha targeting Hamas leaders, saying it undermines efforts to secure the hostages' release. The protests highlight growing tensions and divisions within Israel over the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside Chatham House in London to voice their opposition to Israeli President Isaac Herzog's visit, calling for his arrest over alleged war crimes in Gaza. Herzog met with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Downing Street amid strained relations between the two countries. Protesters waving Palestinian flags and holding placards branding Herzog the genocide president criticized Starmer for hosting the Israeli leader. The Global Summit Flotilla, a convoy of boats carrying international activists, is set to sail towards Gaza to challenge Israel's blockade of the enclave. Thousands of Tunisians gathered there and gathered there to show their support for the flotilla, waving Palestinian flags and chanting slogans calling for freedom of Gaza. This comes after 2 drone attacks targeted key ships in the convoy over the past 2 nights, which organizers described as deliberate attempts by Israel to disrupt this mission. "19 children from Gaza in need of urgent medical care arrived in Jordan, accompanied by 47 family members and accompanying personnel. This is the 11th group of children from Gaza transferred to Jordan for medical treatment as part of the Jordanian Medical Corridor Initiative aimed at supporting Palestinians and alleviating their humanitarian suffering. After receiving treatment, the children will return to Gaza with their families as Jordan prepares to receive new patients under this initiative, which is implemented in cooperation with the World Health Organization. The Israeli military has claimed it has intercepted a missile fired from Yemen, where Houthi rebels have launched attacks they say are in response to Israel's aggression in Gaza. Israel Army said that following sirens that were sounded in several parts of the country, the Indian Air Force intercepted the missile launched from Yemen. Nepal's army says it has issued prohibitory orders and extended a curfew, Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur till 6 a.m. tomorrow. It said that essential service vehicles and institutions would be allowed to operate. The army continues to remain on alert as the death toll from anti-corruption protests climbs to 30. The protests sparked by a government ban on social media platforms quickly escalated into a broader movement, demanding accountability and transparency from the government, resulting in the resignation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. As political uncertainty continues, protesters publicly named former Supreme Court Chief Justice Sushila Karki as their preferred choice for interim Prime Minister. India's Ministry of External Affairs urged the Indian nationals to stay away from offers to join Russian army to fight the Ukraine war. The ministry says it has taken up the issue with Russian authorities in Moscow and Delhi, asking the practice to be ended and that Indian nationals be released. This is not the first time Indians were forced to take part in the war. The External Affairs Ministry informed the Rajya Sabha on the 24th of July. There were 127 Indian nationals in the Russian armed forces. The ministry said of those recruited, 13 Indian nationals remained in the Russian armed forces, of which 12 were reported missing by Russia. Delhi is on high alert as the special cell of Delhi police, in a joint operation with central agencies, exposed a major terror network. A total of 5 suspected terrorists have been arrested from multiple states. Raids were carried out in Delhi, Mumbai and Jharkhand, leading to the recovery of weapons, explosive devices and crucial IED making materials. A devastating gas tanker explosion ripped through a highway in southeast Mexico City, killed at least 3 people while leaving around 70 people with burn injuries. The incident occurred when the tanker overturned and exploded near the border between the municipality. Emergency services quickly responded to the scene. Firefighters worked to extinguish the flames that engulfed several vehicles. The highway, a major thoroughfare, has been closed until further notice. A French parliamentary commission is probing the psychological effects of TikTok. According to a newly released report, it has recommended banning social media for children under 15 and adopting a digital curfew for 15 to 18-year-olds. The commission was launched in March after 7 families sued TikTok in late 2024 for allegedly exposing their children to content that could push them to suicide. Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng and UK Secretary of State for Business and Trade Peter Kyle met in Beijing to discuss economic and trade cooperation between the two countries. He Lifeng emphasized China's commitment to high standard opening up and encouraged British businesses to maintain confidence in investing in China, while Kyle expressed the UK's willingness to deepen trade and investment relations with China, highlighting the importance of economic cooperation between the two nations. Wall Street climbed to fresh records Wednesday, with the S&P 500 up 0.3% to 6,532 and the Nasdaq notching a third straight high, fueled by cooler US producer prices and growing bets on a Fed rate cut next week. Oracle surged 36% on strong AI cloud demand, adding $240 billion to its value, now closing in on Tesla. AI and chip stocks rallied, with Nvidia, Broadcom and AMD all gaining. In Asia Thursday, markets traded mixed. Japan inched higher, South Korea hit a new peak, but Australia slipped. Investors now turn to US consumer price data for fresh clues on the Fed's next move. The US dollar stabilized in early Asian trade, with the dollar index ticking up for a third straight session to 97.822 after a surprise drop in the US producer prices boosted bets on a Fed rate cut next week. Traders now see a 25 basis point cut as a done deal, with some chance of a bigger 50-point move. Against the yen, the dollar traded flat at 147.41 after Japan's wholesale prices rose 2.7% year-on-year. The euro edged higher to $1.1698 ahead of the ECB meeting, where policymakers are expected to hold rates but may strike a dovish tone amid growing regional tensions. The Aussie held gains near a 10-month high, while the yuan and Kiwi moved little. Gold held steady just below record highs Thursday, trading around $3,645 an ounce, about $30 off its all-time peak hit earlier this week. A surprise drop in US producer prices strengthened traders' conviction that the Fed will cut rates next week, with a quarter-point move now seen as a log. Bullion has surged near 40% in 2025, powered by central bank buying, geopolitical tensions, and concerns over US tariffs. Investors continue to pour into gold-tracking ETFs, seeking haven as political pressure mounts on the Fed. Silver traded above $41 after a 42% rally this year, while platinum was flat and palladium inched higher. In industry moves, Barrick Mining sold its last Canadian mine to Carcetti Capital for up to $1.1 billion. Oil prices held steady after a three-day rally, with Brent above $67 and the US oil near $64 a barrel. This comes after President Donald Trump questioned Russia's airspace violation over Poland, prompting a brief spike in futures as traders covered shorts. Trump also warned of new tariffs on India and China, key buyers of Russian oil, if European nations join him in pressuring Moscow. The EU responded sharply, calling Russia's move reckless and vowing to ramp up sanctions. Volatility may rise, but supply pressures remain in focus, with US crude stocks up 3.9 million barrels last week and global markets still facing a potential glut in the year end. YouTube has officially launched its multi-language audio feature after a 2-year pilot. The feature allows millions of creators to add dubbing to videos in different languages to reach global audiences. It was first tested in 2023 with creators like Mr. Beast, Mark Rober and Jamie Oliver, using Google's Gemini-powered AI tool to replicate voices. According to YouTube, testers saw over 25% of watch time from non-primary languages, with Jamie Oliver's channel tripling in views. The platform is also testing multi-language thumbnails to display text in viewers' preferred languages. OpenAI has reversed its decision to retire standard voice mode in ChatGPT after strong user backlash. The company initially planned to replace it with advanced voice mode, but many users said that they preferred the original for its calm and natural responses. Critics described advanced mode as flat, generic, and overacted. Posts on Reddit and the OpenAI forum highlighted user frustration, with some calling standard voice comforting and superior OpenAI confirmed standard voice will stay available, while feedback is addressed, promising improvements to advanced voice in the future. Restaurant Brands International, the parent company of Burger King, Tim Hortons and Popeyes, has been called out for major cybersecurity lapses. Two ethical hackers known as Bob the Hacker and Bob the Hoplifter recently revealed how easily they gained access to critical systems using weak passwords, including admin, on drive-through tablets. They also accessed employee accounts, internal configurations, and raw audio of customer orders. The audio recordings sometimes contain personal information as customers ordered food, which was later processed by AI systems to evaluate both staff and customers. Chinese scientists have claimed to develop the world's first brain-like AI large language model. The model, created by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, is designed to consume less power and run without NVIDIA chips. Unlike traditional models like ChatGPT, which process entire text at once, this can only focus on nearby words, mimicking how the human brain works. According to the researchers, this brain-inspired design makes the model 25 to 100 times faster. Running on China's Meta X chip platform, the breakthrough comes amid US restrictions on exports of advanced chips to China, pushing Beijing to build a self-reliant AI ecosystem. Meta and TikTok have won a legal challenge against the European Commission over a supervisory fee under the Digital Services Act. The Luxembourg-based General Court ruled the EU regulators used a flawed methodology to calculate the 0.05% fee on companies' global net income. The court said the fee should have been set through a delegated act, not an implementing decision. The Commission now has 12 months to fix its rules, but will not refund 2023 fee. Santiago, Chile has conducted its first surgery with an autonomous AI-guided camera. Chief surgeon used the system during the laparoscopic gallbladder removal. The procedure combined magnetic surgical instruments with software that automatically tracked surgical tools and adjusted camera angles without any assistance.